Welcome to the Why Not podcast with me, Chrissy Hawkins. In a world where everybody always asks why, I'm here to ask, why not? I'll be breaking down the mindsets of guests as well as my own in a bid to find out what makes people say, why not? Hello guys, welcome back to Why Not? So today I'm doing another little bonus episode just featuring me, and I'm going to talk to you guys about 5 things that I did. 5 diet trends I did without even taking calorie deficits or anything like that into consideration. So yeah, I think it's very easy to think that PTs aren't immune to this stuff, and I think a lot of us have fallen into the traps and some still do over the years, and I just thought it would be nice to share it with you guys. So yeah, this is going to be my story. A lot of them happened in my teen years and I had no idea what I was at, and now I understand a lot more, so thankfully I haven't fallen for these traps since. But this is my story on them, and so I hope you enjoy, and as ever, sit back and relax and enjoy, or walk and listen, whichever way you want to do it. Enjoy. Okay, so hello and good evening, good morning, good afternoon to whoever, whenever you will listen to this. Apologies for the weirdness, I'm just, in a weird mood. Hey, woo! It's 3 months of lockdown nearly now. I'm going a little bit crazy. No, anyway, before you all get worried and start I don't know what you're gonna do. You could call the white coats on me. Chrissy is just talking shite now. She's gonna shut up and get into today's topic. So basically, today I wanted to talk about 5 things I did to lose weight before I had any knowledge of calories and energy balance or any of those different things. Because I feel like sometimes it seems like PTs know everything, and we forget that we made silly decisions over the years too. We are also only human. And yeah, I just thought it would be worth making a podcast about and have something for you guys to listen to and go, God, she's gobshite. So yeah. So I'm going to get right into it, and I'm going to start my 5 things. So these go back to as far as secondary school, because when I got to I was generally a small enough child growing up, because I was small and I was active and I was really sporty and stuff like that. But when I got to about 16 or so, I stopped doing some of those sports, and because of that I ended up gaining a bit of weight. I was never big, but I would have been. When you're short, if you put on weight, it shows up really quickly. Just for that to be said. But yeah, so I was never fat, but putting on a bit of weight, you're at that age where you're looking at and wanting to be skinny, and that was the big thing back then, because I was a teenager. I'm going to show my age now. I was a teenager in the 2000s. So skinny was still a big thing there, I'm pretty sure, as in 2000, 2010. I turned 13 in 2004, so around then I was in my teens. So the skinny supermodels was still a big thing, as far as I recall. Thigh gaps were mentioned at one point. I'm pretty sure I was why don't I have one of them at one point. So yeah, thin was in back then, and not that I was fat, but I didn't look like the people on the magazines, and they didn't look like that anyway either. But you don't know that when you're that kid. So anyway, back to the point. Obviously I'm a little bit more woke on that now. I'm a bit more interested in muscle building. I don't want to be skinny, I want to be strong, and I promote that with everyone I work with as well. So okay, I have my little list here because I'm waffling off onto weird different tangents, but I just wanted to give you a bit of backstory, what it was like when I was younger, why that might have been the reason behind I did these things. I think it's the reason behind a lot of people doing a lot of odd methods now, and that's it. So One of the first things I remember a long time ago doing, and it was trying to eat low calorie foods without understanding the difference between how much calories I should be eating, or, you know, being in a calorie deficit, or, you know, like you shouldn't be extremely cutting under 2000. So I remember reading the backs of things like tuna. I was like, oh, that's only 100 and something calories, and going off like, you know, the calories that they, like, you know, the 2000 a day for women. Or I also had those Weight Watcher meals a few times, you know, those things were supposed to be a dinner and they're like 150 calories, and you put them in the microwave and they taste like sorrow and you're hungry 10 minutes late, and you wonder why later on you had a packet of biscuits. So that was one of the first things I remember. I do remember reading the calories on the back of stuff, but I didn't know what that meant. And I didn't know, like, I wasn't tracking it accurately, and I was like, oh, this is only 200, so if I'm supposed to be having 2000, I'm only having this much. Like, it was crazy. Absolutely no knowledge what I was supposed to be at. I could have needed more. I could have needed less than 2000. I don't know. I was in my teen years, and it's not the time to be trying to count calories either, inaccurately at best. And yeah, it was a really weird thing that I remember doing. And now I didn't really stick to it, to be honest. I was never consistent with it. Like, I'd be like, aha, I've had this meal that is 200 calories, but not account for anything else I ate or anything else I did in the meantime, which was really, really silly, and it doesn't make sense. And yeah, I just have a bit of a memory of doing that, and obviously it didn't work. But like, I don't know what I was trying to keep myself doing, but I didn't understand it, and that's the thing. I'm not slagging people for doing this, but I didn't understand it as well, so that was an issue. Like, I didn't know what I was aiming for. It was a real case of I just wanted to look skinnier, so I'd eat less calories, but I wasn't tracking everything I ate, just reading the odd stuff, and absolutely making no plan, and probably then eating like a packet of cookies later, not even thinking about it. Like, crazy. It's crazy when I think back and remember I did that. Not that I have anything against tracking calories now or ever. I don't do it personally because I don't feel I need to. I'm in a place where I am right now that I'm happy with. I don't need to be any leaner, I don't need to be any bigger. I don't track my calories. I don't think it would suit me because I can get very single-minded and I can be very obsessive about things, so I just don't think it's something that would be good for me, so I don't do it. I have no problem with other people doing it. It's a very good, useful tool for teaching people how to manage what they're eating and stuff like that, and I think it's great for anyone who uses it. Just a little side note there. But back then when I was doing it, I understood nothing about it, yet was trying to half do it, but not actually doing it. Weird little one I did. So that's the first one that I did, and trying to understand myself and why I did it. This is another one. Number 2 is another one I did as a kid in school. I do it now, funnily enough, but for different reasons. So what I did in school was not eating till lunchtime. And the reason I did that was I was trying to skip a meal and eat less food. And I remember even, this is like really, really embarrassing to talk about, but they used to do a fast every year. Concern, yeah. So you could fast for the day and, like, you know, raise money for charity and all that shit. Sorry, it was to raise money for charity. But anyway, I remember doing it one year, not getting any sponsorship. And I literally just did it and didn't eat for the day so I could lose weight. Like, saying that out loud is kind of embarrassing because you're like, what were you at? But yeah, I didn't get any sponsorship. I just did the fast for one day and then I ate again normally. I remember as well being like knackered. Like, I came home from school and I just lay there because I was like, I hadn't eaten all day, I had no energy, I was starving, and I just lay on the couch all evening, didn't even get out of my uniform. But now that was just one day, but there was a time for a while in where I used to purposely not eat, and I'd be in school and I'd be drinking water. I'd have like a litre bottle of water, and I would, like, my stomach would be rumbling in school, and I'd be like afraid people would hear me, and I was like shit, like, because I was just, again, just trying to lose weight, no plan about it, just I didn't know how it worked, and I heard not eating. Basically, that's it. That's really what you were taught when in our age: don't eat and you'll lose weight. Like, that was really heavy in the diet times. It might still be a thing now, but yeah, I remember back then it was all about, like, do you ever remember Beyonce's, like, what was it, lemon water diet or something? She lost a lot of weight to be in, I think it was Austin Powers, and they were like lemon and pepper or honey and water or something like that, and that's all she was drinking a day. And I was like, oh my god, it's such a great diet, like, it's like 200 calories a day, and she lost so much weight, or 600 calories or something like that. It was something crazy. Not good for you, by the way. Not an idea to go up and look into it, but that's just something I remember. Now, I do personally fast till 12 o'clock now, and that's just something that came out of convenience while I was working, and now it's a habit. But likewise with this one, if I'm hungry beforehand, I just eat. I don't, like, there is no magical benefits for fasting. I know that. The only thing, if you're trying to lose weight, is it will put you in a calorie deficit by skipping a meal. I just want it to be known that I do it. I can't really explain why I do it, but it's become a habit and I'm okay with it, but it's not something that I'm tied to. I don't have, I'm not one of those intermittent fasting brigade people. I don't tell people you should do it. If you want to do it, if it works for you, do. If you're doing it and you're starving the whole time, don't do it. But yeah, back then it was literally like, I'm just not going to eat and I'll lose weight. Another fabulous reason. And it's just mad to, like, think about back doing that. And like, it's funny because I'm doing it now, but now it's not for weight loss. It's just something I do, and I've been doing it for a while, and I'm kind of used to it. But as I said, if I am hungry before 12 o'clock, I eat. And I generally eat really late at night, and that's part of the reason as well. I wouldn't be doing like a 6 to 12. I wouldn't be doing a really long fast. It's literally, I could have my dinner at 8:30, and then I eat again at 12 o'clock the next day. So yeah, I don't know if that made sense. I kind of tangent between both of them, but that was number 2. So not eating till lunchtime, even though I was absolutely starving, and I was just drinking water to try and make myself feel like I wasn't starving. So not a good idea. If you are ignoring hunger cues, you need to change your diet. Just a heads up. Not good for you. It is not good. Okay, so number 3. This is an interesting one, right? Okay, and again, this is something I do, but now I know why. But when I first started training in the gym and doing weights, I used to, just a long time ago, I used to work Jervis Street, and I went down to, this was when like protein and like sports shops and all that stuff wasn't really a big thing. So there was a protein shop in the ILAC Centre. I cannot tell you the brand. And it was the most basic shop ever. They just literally sold this one brand. It was like, this is before they even had the likes of Body First Nutrition. All, they weren't even open yet. So it was a while ago. And so I went in there and bought a total protein. And I used to have protein shakes after my training sessions. And again, what was I trying to do? Oh, I heard it was good for recovery after training. You'd feel better after you get protein in. That was it. Like, literally, that was the only reason. I had no idea about calories. Again, I did not know what I was trying to do. Was I trying to build? Like, what else was I, like, I didn't know about muscle protein synthesis. I didn't know I could just get that from my diet. I just heard you should have protein shakes, and I was training with someone who was kind of a gym bro, and they were like, yeah, I get protein, and I was like, yeah, look, I'm like a gym bro now, because I was very early to going in the weight section. As a girl, I always enjoyed being the girl who was in the weight section, so I was like, yeah, I'm like leveling up here, and I'd like have a protein shake on the way home, and like, this protein powder was minging, by the way, as well. Yeah, it was really like sweet or something. I used to have a little milk starting off as well. Now I normally have them with water, but again, I just heard that's how you do it. Like, like, you know, a lot of the time, if you have like milk, you're looking for extra calories and stuff like that, if you're trying to bulk and all. And here's me not knowing what the hell I'm doing. I'm just lifting weights going, yeah, here, milk and a protein shake. Like, oh, I don't even know what I was at. Honestly, that was an interesting one, and I don't I still actually take protein now, but when I take protein now, it is to help with recovery or to up my protein intake for the day when I know I haven't eaten enough protein, as opposed to I lift weights, I drink protein shake. And I think everyone's done that. I think this might be a bit more common with men to have done that, but yeah, men, you aren't the only ones. I did it too. And that was kind of short one. So yeah, that was number 3 of weird things I did. Not weird things, but like, you know, things I did without understanding how it worked in my body. Best way of saying it. Number 4. I have two of these technically. And the number 4 I'm going with at the moment is I took fat burners. So I'm sure you've heard of fat burners, you may not have. So basically what these tend to be are pills you can take that are high caffeine, or yeah, it's generally high caffeine, and maybe they have like green tea extract or stuff in them to basically help you burn extra fat. Or, you know, like some of these high caffeine ones literally just make you feel like you're on speed and you're just like, oh, well, you know what I mean, you'll get jittery like you've had several cups of coffee, and you like some of them are thermogenic, so it makes you hotter and makes you sweat, which can help you burn extra calories. Really, there is no need for them in any way, shape or form, unless you are in, like, if you're trying to get stage lean, you to get that extra little bit, you might take fat burners now. But for the average Joe, you generally won't make much of a difference off them. Or you also need to, like, first off, get in a calorie deficit, start burning fat. So they're not a way of cheating the system. They will work in conjunction with a diet. They may add a little bit of extra fat loss, but without you being in the calorie deficit, they're gonna do nothing. And the other ones you may have heard of are the ketones, raspberry ketones or something like that. I'm pretty sure I bought them just online off something before at one point. God knows what the fuck I was taking. They also, I think they tell you that they bind to fat or something, and they take out the fat out of your body, or they can be an appetite suppressant. That's the other one. So there are 2 types of fat burners you can get, or like technically fat burners. Can tell you I tried both, and neither worked. And what do I expect? I was like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna take these random shit I bought off the internet with the raspberry ketones. I bought the other ones in an actual like protein shop, back when they were a lot more bro. And so basically you're like, hey, I'm gonna take these raspberry ketones and I'm gonna eat everything anyway, and I'm gonna lose weight. Bull fucking shit. And guess what they did for me? Nothing. So it's like 4 days or something, can't remember what it was. Anyway, moral of the story, they didn't work. Why? Because that shit doesn't work. Just short form of it. The other one was the fat burners. Again, didn't make much of a difference to me, absolutely not. Why? Because I was not in a calorie control diet. I was literally taking these, going to the gym and expecting them to just do a magic job without me monitoring my food. Again, I didn't have a set goal for this. Any of these things I've been doing, I had no goal. Like, I just wanted to lose weight, or all whatever it can be, you know, that kind of thing. Does that make sense? So it's not like I was like, oh, I need to lose a couple extra pounds, or I want to be this, that and the other. I literally was just like, if I do this, I lose weight. When really it didn't work, because I had no goal to aim for, and I wasn't actually tracking anything, and it was literally just that. And then I remember as well, did I get samples or something? Someone gave me samples or something of one fat burner, and I took them once, and they were like, they were high potency, which meant they were laced with caffeine and they were thermogenic. And I swear to God, took them one day, it did nothing for me because I only took like a try of them. I think it's what they were just giving me, like a trial to see what they're like, because they are the high general. I swear to God, sweaty, like I'd had 4 cups of coffee. I felt awful for the whole day, and like, what did it do for me? Nothing. I felt like I couldn't sit still. It was horrendous. So that's all they really do. They kind of might make you move more because there's caffeine in them, and some of the thermogenic make you sweat a bit. So I can tell you now, they did not work. why. Again, I was following no plan with them. I was just taking them and hoping them to be a magic pill that fixed my issues. Like, again, I wasn't that big, especially by the time I'd gotten into the gym and stuff like that. But yeah, apparently that was the way to go. It was not. It didn't work. Heads up, don't do that. So that is number 4. Dun dun dun. And number 5, the famous, the well-known, the ever-present, I cut carbs out of my diet. Yay! And again, so we've all heard of the keto diet. It is famously either loved or hated. I want to give a bit of background on the keto. I'm pretty sure this has come up in previous podcasts, but just for reference, the ketogenic diet is a very low carb diet. Atkins diet is very similar. It's not quite the same, but it follows a similar principle. It was created to help, I think it's children, but anyway, people with epilepsy. It can help them have less seizures is the word. The problem is, it's also in a sense good for fat loss, but and some forms of the community, the diet community, have latched onto it and been like, this is the thing. Carbs are making you fat. Carbs are not making you fat, okay? Carbs are an essential part of our diet and lifestyle. Okay, so technically they're not essential. Essential means we can't make them ourselves. We can survive without carbs, but like, it's a miserable life if you try to. And that is why I don't believe in keto. And the reason you tend to lose weight quickly on it is you lose a lot of water weight as well. So you don't actually lose body fat, is you drop water weight, because in your muscles, I'm explaining this really badly, but in your muscles, for every gram of carbohydrate, which we do have stored in our muscles with glycogen, you get 3 grams of water. So if that dries up and you no longer have any glycogen in your muscles, the water won't be there either. So that's why you get dramatic losses at the start of a ketogenic diet, because all the water is gone too. But the minute you eat a carb, it'll come back in, because the water will come back. Anyway, I have tried that. And again, what am I trying to do? I think it was coming up to a holiday. Like, even in recent years I've done it. And that was, again, before I've really studied and learned about how energy balances work. So I'm coming up to a holiday, I want to lose a bit of weight. Okay, I'll just eat salad after training and stuff. So you don't eat carb Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, binge the weekend. Don't eat carbs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, binge the weekend, because when I'm drinking, obviously I'm going to have chips and shit, because fuck it. So never actually got into ketosis, because you need to be a couple of days on it before your body switches to ketosis. And what ketosis is when your body uses fat for fuel. So suffice to say, I didn't lose any weight before the holiday. But again, 2 problems with the issue here in doing this was, I was doing it without basing it off what the rest I was eating, like my calorie intake, how I was, like what I was eating, what I wasn't eating. You know, I wasn't taking the grand scheme of things. I also hadn't a goal. I just wanted to lose a bit of weight before I went away again, so no set goal. Didn't know what I was looking for in that, yet I expected myself to get results on the ketogenic diet, which I wasn't following. I was just going low carb, because apparently that is what you need to do. Now, I know people still have a bit of an issue with carbs, or there's a demonization of carbs out there, and I just want to say, when it comes to the diets and stuff like that, they're like, oh, I did it before and it worked and it was great, and it's like, okay, are you still doing it? No. Why? If you're not still doing it and it's not sustainable, it didn't work for you. If you've gone back to where you were or heavier since then, it didn't work for you. If it resulted in, after a couple of weeks, you binging on stuff and feeling awful about yourself, or you were able to do it 3 days a week and the other rest of the week end up binging, it's not working for you. These are just things to remember when you say it worked for me, it was great. If you are not still in whatever preferred shape you would like to be because of it, it didn't work for you. And that is unfortunately the truth. But what I do want to put out there as well is one thing that was really, really evident for me in all these situations where I was trying to lose weight, or I was trying to change, or I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I was trying to build muscle when I was in the protein shakers. I didn't have a goal. I didn't know what I was doing. And I heard these things worked, so I tried the quick fix. But I didn't actually take into account what I actually needed to do. So obviously as a kid, there was a lot, there's a lot of information out now that wasn't there when I was a teenager, 15 years ago. That's depressing. But now there is the information you can find out, which can also lead to other extremes, but the information is there. If you are looking to do weight loss or whatever, you need to do your research first. I learned that now, because now I don't follow any diet, if I'm honest, other than maybe fasting till lunchtime every day. But I eat what I want. I don't feel guilty about what I eat, and I train a lot. So, I'm kind of 80-20. I do eat what I want. I'm trying to make as much of it whole food starting off, and then of course I will have treats and whatever you want to call that. I will have whatever's considered bad food as well, and I'm probably in the best shape of my life. Now I have a lot more knowledge than 15 years ago when I was a teenager, or even in my early 20s. I know a lot more now because of the job I do. But if you do struggle in that area, don't be afraid to reach out to someone and ask them, because they will be able to help you. There are so many people out there and they want to help you. And I think it's really important to remember that you don't have to go it alone. Even if you can do the research yourself if you want to, but if it's still confusing you, you can invest in someone to help you out. So I think that's really, really important to remember, that it's not you don't have to go it alone. It doesn't just have to be you against the world trying to take on this. And you need a goal as well. You need to know what you want. You can't just say, I want to lose a couple of pounds. You need to be specific. It might be a dress size, it might be an amount of weight, it might be a certain look you're looking for, but you need to be specific on what you're doing, because jumping onto these random trends over and over again without a goal is setting you up for failure, but also it's just damaging your relationship with food, your relationship with yourself, your own body image over and over and over again. And I can tell you now, at the end of every one of those things I didn't look the way I wanted to. I don't know what I expected, what I wanted to look like, but it wasn't that. And I didn't achieve what I was looking for, but I didn't know what I was looking for. It was just that kind of in your head couple of pounds off. Now, fast forward 15 years, I do know what I'm looking for. I don't have a goal weight. I sit around the same weight a lot. I have a goal, look, I want to be a certain amount lean. That's fine. I want to get better at running, so I run. Different things like this, I kind of have more of a goal. And I have put in systems to help me reach that goal, as opposed to picking out something that's fashionable and random right now and then throwing a dart at the dartboard and hoping for the best. Throw a dart? I don't know. What's that saying as well? It's like rolling a dice. If you don't have a goal, it's like rolling a dice and getting mad you didn't get 2 6s. That's a really good one, I think, to say and to remember. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about things that I've done in my past that maybe people don't realise, because I tend to advocate for obviously sustainable ways of weight loss now. And I just wanted you all to know that I'm a human. I've made mistakes as well. I've done loads of silly diet crap over the years, and I used to do things like sit on MSN and eat biscuits and not realise how much that was affecting my weight. And I've done excessive cardio for years and not understood how that would work too. Loads of different things. I can go into more depth on some of those things if it is something you guys want to hear about. I can tell you loads of stupid shit I did over the years in regards to weight loss, fat loss, dieting. This is just a short synopsis on some of the main things that I can remember off the top of my head today that I did. The reason I made this episode is because I think people need to know that I think most people have done a lot of this stuff, especially women, and it's good to just share it, and instead of being embarrassed about doing it, just admit it, because I think we've all done it, and we've all been in this scenario. Maybe some of us are still in that scenario, and maybe by listening to this episode they'll kind of realise, that's what I've been doing, I'm going to change that habit, and it can only help. And that's why I'm telling you things that I'm actually kind of a little bit embarrassed to admit, because I like to think of myself as a well-rounded, well-structured person. However, I'm not always perfect, because I am human and perfection doesn't exist. And with that, I want to thank you all for listening. If there is anything on these you want me to expand on, or any more silly things that I've done over the years, please do let me know. I love to hear some feedback on the episodes, and obviously if you can give me a little review here and there, that would be great too. And that is today's episode on 5 things I did, 5 diets I did before I understood calories and energy balance and the importance of setting goals. It's very long name. I'll probably change it a little bit, but yeah, thanks for listening. Thank you again for listening to the Why Not podcast. It really means a lot that you are listening in, and I would love if you could please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or subscribe on Spotify. And always, I'd love to hear feedback personally, so if you do want to leave me a message and let me know how you found the podcast, please do.